Every August, you hear the same three things. Breastfeeding is best, it's natural, and it is free. And all three of those are technically true. That's exactly why the messaging keeps failing. So let's start with what the guidance actually says. The World Health Organization recommends exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months. Then you keep going alongside other foods for 2 years or more. And so 2 years, sit with that for a second. 2 years from someone who also has to go back to work, who has to heal from giving birth, and also sleep at some point, And so this is where, in quote, free falls apart. Yes, breastfeeding doesn't cost money, but it costs time. And time is the one thing new parents don't have. So when we call it free, what we are really doing is putting the whole cost on one person and then praising her for carrying it. This is why this year's theme is interesting, as the World Alliance for Breastfeeding Action presents it or themes it to be breastfeeding for a sustainable start in life. Strengthen what works. Look at what that doesn't say. It doesn't say educate mothers. It doesn't say encourage mothers. It says strengthen what already works. So it's like find the supports that are already helping and build on those. And so that's a completely different starting point. It assumes that the mother already knows what to do. So the question becomes, what's hindering her? What's in her way? What are the barriers? And here's what most campaigns miss. There are 3 different things going on, and we keep treating them like one. First, does she know breastfeeding is recommended? Almost certainly, almost always, yes. Survey after survey says yes. Does she plan to do it? Most parents plan to. And so intention at delivery is very high. Can she actually keep going? That's where everything drops off. And it drops off really fast in the first few weeks. So the gap is not about information. You cannot fix the gap with another pamphlet or another flyer. So what's actually in there? Let's go through it together. So it's like she goes back to work. And here's the thing people get wrong about this. There is a federal law, the FMLA, but it is unpaid. And so 12 weeks, no paycheck. And it doesn't even cover everyone because your employer has to be big enough and you have to have you have to have been there long enough. So more than a dozen states have built their own paid programs like Minnesota, Delaware, and Maine. This was just launched this year. So, but if you don't live in one of those states, you're choosing between a paycheck and feeding your baby. Another important question is there somewhere to pump? The Pump Act says most workers get break time and a private space. And a private space that's not a bathroom. But the law does not build you a room. It doesn't give you a manager who actually schedules around the time of your breastfeeding. Is there help when things go wrong? Because large problems don't happen at 2 in the afternoon. They actually happen at 2 in the morning. And if the soonest appointment is 3 weeks out. That problem is already over. It ended by stopping breastfeeding. What happened in the hospital in those first few hours? Because that shapes a whole lot. And does anybody at home know how to help you? Look at the lists again. Not one of those is about the mother knowing enough. 4 of them are actually about policy. 1 is culture. All of them are fixable. And that's why the national theme for this year is RISE. Stands for resilience, interdependence, self-determination, and empowerment. The US Breastfeeding Committee picked it to talk about policy and systems and environments. So notice what's getting fixed in that sentence. It's the environment, not the mother herself. So this month, when the campaign starts showing up in your feed or anywhere you see, you come across the campaign, just watch where they point. If it's telling a mother what she should do, it's telling her something she already knows. If it's asking what would make it possible, that's the other question. And that's the one that actually moves the number. Because there's a difference between promoting breastfeeding and supporting breastfeeding. Worth noticing which one you're looking at. And so in my next video, we'll get into those barriers properly, including the ones that nobody talks about or nobody names. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. I remain Metamorphosis with Toby.